Hello everybody, my name is Erik Teren Mullins, and today we're going to be checking out Kotobukiya Bishoujo. Horror Bishoujo Sadako? Maybe I should check this cassette out. Oh, well here she comes. That's terrific. Yamamura Sadako over here is a 1/7 horror Bishoujo statue, and though she may appear a little bit on the small side, I would say that she's pretty accurate in comparison to her depiction from the movie The Ring. If you'd like to see my unboxing to this figure, be sure to check out my link in the description. I made a short for it. I decided to make all my unboxings shorts nowadays. I feel like a lot of my in-depth videos run pretty long, so this way it'll cut them just a little bit, and for those of you that just want to see the unboxing and a quick glance what the figure's all about, you can always check out that video. But if you're staying here, that means you want to see all the little details and intricacies that Sadako here has to offer. First things first, does she wobble? Ever so slightly, but not that much, which is surprising because this figure is not pegged onto this base particularly well at all. She just ever so lightly sits on this thing. Once you put this peg through her dress, you can kind of spin her and she'll click into a good place. However, it doesn't make it click in on the vertical. Her base plate here is kind of a mess, so you don't want to drop it because it will just blow up all over the place. And speaking of this lovely base plate, oh my gosh, I know just looking at this base plate, a few of you are going through some major PTSD and horror moments. Not all of us can really deal with this sort of thing. Essentially, you have 3 layers, each layer is attached with magnets, and in the middle bottom layer, you actually have all this cassette tape, where you're going to be the one pulling everything out. And in order to have it weaving and flowing through all the different layers of these cassettes, it's not the easiest thing, and it's impossible to have something that would be symmetrical. So for some of you out there that really don't enjoy the chaos, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to enjoy this. Another thing to mention is that if you have little animals at home, it's possible that they are going to take one of these things and just run with it. You have to be very careful. And you don't want to ever have to dust this. It looks like a nightmare having to deal with this little tapes, so you're going to have to put it in some sort of display that's sealed off. Now that all that horror is out of the way, let's talk about the good positives. The cassettes are very well sculpted. I love the multiple different uses of plastic that we get here. For the back plastic, the front coverings, it just looks great. The cassettes are all pretty uniform in their design, with exception to the one that's attached onto her hair. A lovely gray piece at the top. I think this is cool. I would have liked to see maybe a repeat of that here or there on the base, so it just would have made some of them stick out a little more. The flashy reflective cassette tape that we have going on here does an excellent job at making all of these matte cassettes stick out well. There's a metallic peg here that inserts into Sadako's dress, and it's really not all that noticeable depending on how you weave your cassette thread. I put mine around the front bottom of her dress, and because of this, you don't really see any of it, which is terrific. Her feet are pretty cute, but also extremely disturbing. I'd say they're well sculpted, everything kind of seems sharp, and the skin itself isn't particularly smooth. For a lot of figures, I want the skin to be nice, soft, and smooth, inviting, but for this figure in particular, it definitely works in her favor to have something that's a little bit choppier, and even if there's a little nick or a little scratch here or there throughout your life of owning this figure, it's not going to necessarily look bad. It's just added weathering to her already weathered and messed up ghost body. The tips of her toenails have been removed, and they did a great job at making everything look all scratchy and red. This is creepy, but at the same time, the foot looks so well sculpted, even from underneath, that it's very impressive. I also love how her right foot kind of claws inwards. It just adds so much flavor to the character. These feet go up into her long, dainty legs. We get some sharper edges here and there. The highlights are a bit warmer, the shading is a bit colder, and this is terrific. The knees and the shin are incredibly well defined, and I really like that. It's just, everything about it just makes it feel so much more creepy and dead. However, okay, so here we go. This figure is quite spicy. At first glance, you look at her and think, my goodness, this is so cool, this is so creepy, I love this. But then the more you start to look, or depending on how you're posing here, you're thinking, oh my goodness, is she wearing underpants? And not only that, they made her thighs and her behind very shapely and very smooth in comparison to the other parts of her. This is actually really surprising to see on a figure like this by Kotobukiya. I really didn't expect it, but I know that Koto tends to make things a lot more PG-13 and under when they're doing licensed figures attached to corporations that want their product to really be for a younger audience. This is a horror figure, and like many of their other Bishoujo horror line, some of them are just darn right creepy and uncomfortable to look at, while still retaining a certain level of spice or just unease, and I think that's cool. I like that, and there's definitely a place for products like this out in the anime market, because I feel like there's just not enough, and so it's kind of cool to see something like that here. Covering her very dead yet quite shapely and elegant body is this soft, silky looking, slightly transparent white dress, and it is very, very well sculpted. The flow that we get along the bottom is gorgeous, with frayed edges here and there. We have some lovely lighter and darker shading going across a lot of these folds in the fabric, as everything kind of cuts up and goes towards her hips. If this is all supposed to be one dress, this is a bit of a disappointment because you can clearly see the cut between the different types of transparent and opaque plastics going on here. However, you could argue that she has different types of materials on her. Some of them might be more dirtier and older than others. It almost looks like she's wearing a dress and then has kind of like a long t-shirty, raggedy dress on top of it. And so where this could be a real problem for me, it isn't. It might bother you, but whenever I see this side of her, I kind of feel like she's just wearing some sort of t-shirt. The white part here has extremely good fabric, and everything cuts in where we get even more of a feeling of Sadako and her well water. It just really looks like it's sticking to her skin. Beautiful carving for the stretches and pulls and fabric. And along the back, they definitely push it quite a bit, where you can see her shapely back and bottom. Along her right side, everything just wafts out nicely and goes up and behind her hair. While her chest is definitely more visible from one side, you can see all the extra folds going along the stomach because of how her back is arched inwards. And she definitely has more humanistic, curvy proportions. They didn't go too overboard with her, which works really well for a Bishoujo anime statue of this horror figure. We have a cassette that's ever so slightly attached to her dress here. This thing looks really nice. We then have a line going around her shoulder, which I'm not fond of. Kind of cuts in quite a bit, where they then put in more transparent plastic for the sleeves. And if it was the same white as her body dress, it wouldn't have been as noticeable, but because it isn't, you do see a slight variation in coloration. And it genuinely looks like this is real material wafting over her arm, as her forearm then comes out of the sleeve, where we see her hands holding her left leg closer to her, and it really makes everything feel so much more shy and vulnerable. It's such an odd way to describe such a horrific creature. I'm really happy that Kotobukiya took the time to make the hands look this good. They all kind of wedge inward in between the knuckles of the fingers, which give it really that creepy ghost dead girl vibe. And of course her fingernails have also been ripped off here, where everything's all sketchy and ripped up. It looks like nail polish, but that's just blood. I actually really enjoy the part of her face that we see. I think it's kind of cute. Again, vulnerable, looks shy, and you just know she's gonna murder somebody any second now. It's so cute. Look at this little girl. Hee hee hee, murdering people. Ha ha ha. 7 days later. We get a nice amount of shading around her face. The decal for the eye is nice, but I would have preferred it to be more reflective on the eyeball itself. And if you're not a fan of faces, it is interchangeable. You could just cover it up completely with this chunk of hair that you get. But the way they tell you to do it is by grabbing this acrylic chunk of plastic. It's so weird, it's super malleable. It says you're supposed to take this, stick it on her hair, really get it in there, and then because it's adhesive, you'll pull the chunk off and you place it with the one that just covers hair. That's the sort of thing that kind of freaks me out. I feel like it could rip off some of the paint from the hair. I don't like this at all. If it was magnetic, that would have been much better. This figure costs just a little bit too much, Kotobukiya, for you to insert a face swapping mechanic using tape like this. No. I don't want to do it. And for the sake of this video and some photos, I did replace it so that I could show you what it looks like with just the hair over it, but I don't want to use an adhesive on her. The odds of it removing paint, it just freaks me out. I'm not taking that kind of risk. And if you had pre-ordered this figure directly from Kotobukiya, you actually get an extra face with a more creepy, crazy looking eye. I personally don't like how Kotobukiya consistently releases figures with extra faces or extra little accessories if you order it throughout their main website. I get it, I know why they're doing it, I just don't like it, because not all of us have access to order this sort of thing directly from Koto in the first place, so it just feels like missing out with a proof of purchase that you had bought this figure somewhere else and you show it to them and then they charge you a small fee to end up having this extra accessory. I think that they should have done that. It would have made a lot of their clientele and fans happier. This is kind of subjective here. I know some of you really like having the exclusivity of ordering it directly through their main website. It's just something I'm not personally into. Her hair is so cute. I actually think it's cute. It's giant all over the place. It slowly, as it gets to the bottom, becomes transparent. The rest of it near the top that's all opaque really looks good. The carving for the sculpt is really deep in many areas, and because of this, you don't see so many of the seams, though, you know, there's some that you still kind of do. At the top of her head, it's very apparent how everything here splits apart. The shading that we get on it feels kind of dirty, mute, mudded, and that works really well for the rest of the figure. The inside of the hair also looks extremely well sculpted, and when you just look at the overall portion of this hair, all the different strands layered very well. I just think it's decently executed. Not perfect, but definitely good, and for the most part on your shelf, you're not going to notice it too much. If you were struggling like crazy with the tape that's on this base plate, or all of a sudden one of your animals got a hold of it, it comes with this lovely little cassette box. You get extra rolls of cassette tape. Whatever you chose not to keep on her, you've got a lovely place to put it away here. This is cute, and I would like to see more figures doing thematic things like this. That really does make a product feel more premium, and I really love and appreciate it. Upon her release, this horrific little cutie pie was going for 18,000 yen. Personally, I find that to be a little on the expensive side. I do think that this packaging is cute, and I really love this figure. I'm very happy with her. It's just, I feel like what you're getting here at that price is still a little bit small, and even size aside, because they did put a lot of detail and work into this, it's just the paint job is also extremely simplistic. Comparing her to other Kotobukiya statues that are very similar in their price point, and heavy licensed ones at that, she should have had perhaps a little more gloss on her here and there. Her dress is pearlized, but maybe they could have done a little bit of a better job so that it felt a little more like it was wet or muddied along the bottom here, as if it's being dragged through after she climbs out of the well. The cassettes could have had a bit more detail to them so they don't just seem so flat. Usually cassettes have the title of the film written in the middle. They could have added little stickers on some of them. Maybe stickers could have been ripped off of others, just so that it felt a little bit more worthy of that price point. I'm so sorry, Sadako. Comparing you to their rogue was not fair for you. This is an immaculate figure. It's so good. But despite my saying all this, I have no regrets in getting her whatsoever. I think this is gorgeous. I love my monster girls, and this one is too legit, and I find it so cute and less creepy. It really kind of seems subjective. I like creepy cute things, and if you do too, then this figure might actually be for you. One crazy epic thing I have to tell you about is that when I pre-ordered this figure on AmiAmi, and I kid you not, after the pre-ordering, I was directed to like the figure, and I was number 666 to like it. So I took a picture of my screen because I just had to share this. It was so cool. Almost like destiny. Of course, like always, if you're still on the fence about getting this figure, I do suggest looking at other reviewers online. Also, you can check out the My Figure collection page for her specifically. I'll have the link in my description. Wherever you want to see her placed in other people's collections, or have different types of angles or views that perhaps I didn't tackle in my video today, usually you'll get to see them there. If you like my video just a little bit, it doesn't cost much to
Horrifically click that like. Subscribing is always helpful for my channel. And don't forget to ping that notification bell. This way you'll be notified of my future videos.
It goes a crazy long way at helping support my channel, and I really appreciate it. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Well, thanks for coming on my channel, Sadako. I really appreciated it. You were amazing, and yeah, it was great. What's that? Yeah, 7 days. Cool. I'm down to hang out in 7 days from now. Sounds fun. I don't really think I have too much planned. I guess I'll be seeing you. Take care. Ugh. Bye now. 7 days. Yeah, I'll write it in my calendar. It's all good. What a sweet little ghost.